In the winter damp of post-war London, a narrow street in Notting Hill held its breath. The houses were tired, paint peeled from front doors, soot sat in the brickwork. Behind the windows, families lived in divided rooms, sharing staircases, toilets, washhouses, and secrets. At number 10 Rillington Place, a young family lived in the top-floor flat. Timothy Evans, his wife Beryl, and their baby daughter Geraldine. By March 1950, Timothy Evans would be dead, hanged by the British state for the murder of his child. 3 years later, the country would be forced to ask a question that could not be undone. Had the wrong man gone to the rope? To understand the weight of this case, we have to return to London in 1949. Britain was still recovering from the Second World War. Bomb sites remained. Rationing shaped daily life. Working-class families often lived in cramped rented rooms, and privacy was a luxury many people simply did not have. Notting Hill was not yet the fashionable district it would become decades later. It was a place of crowded houses, shared facilities, unstable work, and quiet hardship. Timothy Evans was a young Welshman from Merthyr Tydfil. He had little education, struggled with literacy, and worked as a lorry driver. Beryl Evans was young too, trying to keep a small household together in a difficult city. Their daughter Geraldine was still a baby. Below them lived John Christie and his wife Ethel. Christie appeared to some as quiet, precise, and respectable. He had served as a war reserve policeman during the war, and that detail would later matter deeply. In a world where uniform, class, and confidence could shape credibility, Christie looked to many like a reliable witness. Timothy Evans did not. In November 1949, Beryl and Geraldine disappeared from ordinary life. Evans left London and returned to Wales. At first, relatives were told stories that did not make sense. Eventually, on 30 November, he went to the police in Merthyr Tydfil. What followed was a series of statements that changed, contradicted each other, and became central to the case against him. In one version, Evans said Beryl had died after taking something meant to end a pregnancy, and that he had hidden her body in a drain. But when police searched the drain at Rillington Place, they found nothing. Then came another version. Evans said Christie had offered to help Beryl, claiming medical knowledge. According to Evans, Christie later told him something had gone wrong. Evans said Christie advised him to leave London while the situation was handled. Then, after police searched 10 Rillington Place, Beryl and Geraldine were found in the washhouse area behind the property. The discovery turned the case from confusion into a murder investigation. Police focused on Evans. He was brought back to London. Under questioning, he gave another statement, this time accepting responsibility. But he later withdrew it. He said he had confessed when overwhelmed, and he returned to the accusation he had already made. Christie had done it. At the Old Bailey in January 1950, Evans stood trial for the murder of Geraldine. He was not tried for Beryl's murder, though her death remained central to the story presented in court. The courtroom was formal, heavy with wood, wigs, gowns, procedure, and tradition. A male judge presided. Barristers in black robes and horsehair wigs questioned witnesses. The machinery of justice moved with confidence. Christie became a key prosecution witness. He denied Evans's accusation. He and Ethel testified about what they said they had heard from the Evans flat. To the court, Christie appeared controlled. Evans appeared uncertain and unreliable. That contrast helped shape the trial. The jury convicted Timothy Evans. The sentence was death. On 9 March 1950, at Pentonville Prison, Evans was hanged. He was 25 years old. For the authorities, the case seemed closed. But 10 Rillington Place was not finished giving up its secrets. In March 1953, John Christie moved out of the ground floor flat. New tenants entered the property. One of them discovered something concealed in the kitchen area. Police were called. As they searched, they found evidence of several murders connected to Christie. The man who had stood in court against Timothy Evans was no longer merely a witness. He was now exposed as a killer. The shock spread quickly through London. Police returned to the same house, the same rooms, the same garden, the same cramped building where Evans's wife and child had been found years earlier. Newspapers crowded the story. Photographers gathered outside the peeling facade of number 10. The public stared at the house as if the bricks themselves had been hiding a national scandal. Christie was arrested and charged. In 1953, he was tried at the Central Criminal Court for the murder of his wife, Ethel. He pleaded insanity, but the jury rejected that defense. He was convicted and sentenced to death. Before his execution, Christie admitted responsibility for multiple killings. He also admitted involvement in Beryl Evans's death, though his statements about Geraldine remained limited and inconsistent. That uncertainty became the heart of the scandal. If Christie killed Beryl, and if Evans had said Christie killed Beryl, why had Evans not been believed? If Christie had been capable of murder inside the same house, why had the earlier investigation not uncovered more? And if the state had made a mistake, what could possibly repair it after the sentence had already been carried out? Christie was hanged on 15 July 1953, but his death did not end the Evans case. Instead, it deepened it. The first official inquiry in 1953 did not clear Evans. Many people were not satisfied. Journalists, campaigners, lawyers, and members of the public continued asking whether the evidence had been misunderstood, ignored, or forced into the shape authorities expected. The case became more than a murder file. It became a warning about class, credibility, police questioning, vulnerable suspects, and the dangers of irreversible punishment. Timothy Evans had been poor. He had struggled to express himself. His statements changed. But changing statements do not automatically make a person guilty. Fear, confusion, pressure, grief, and lack of legal protection can all distort what a person says in custody. Christie, by contrast, had seemed composed. He had worn respectability like a coat. He had even served in wartime policing. The court believed him enough for his testimony to help send another man to death. That is the part of the story that still feels so cold. Not simply that Christie killed, but that his word helped condemn Evans. In 1966, after a second inquiry led by Mr. Justice Brabin, the British government accepted that it was more probable than not that Evans had not killed Geraldine. A posthumous free pardon was granted. The word pardon can sound strange here, because Evans was not alive to receive mercy. He could not walk free. He could not return to his family. He could not rebuild his name in his own voice. The pardon was not a rescue. It was an admission after the fact. By then, Britain had already moved toward ending capital punishment for murder. The Evans case, alongside other controversial executions, helped shift public and political opinion. It showed the nightmare at the center of the death penalty. Once carried out, even a proven mistake cannot be reversed. The house at 10 Rillington Place was eventually demolished. The street itself was renamed, but renaming a street does not erase what happened there. Beryl Evans and Geraldine Evans lost their lives. Ethel Christie and other victims of John Christie were also failed by the world around them. And Timothy Evans became one of the most haunting names in British legal history. Not because he was powerful, but because he was powerless when power mattered most. The Timothy Evans case asks a question that every justice system must face. What happens when the law is certain, but wrong? In the end, the mystery was not only inside one London house, it was inside the confidence of a court, the assumptions of investigators, and a punishment that allowed no second chance. The rope took Timothy Evans in 1950, but the weight of it remained on Britain for decades.